Hi everyone, my name is Sarah, and this poem is called Being Homeless. How do you judge the homeless? When you've never been there is careless. The first time I was homeless was after 5th grade. My mama had enough of my stay. Off to my father's house I went, but he left too, so I stood alone in an invisible tent. He was divorcing my stepmom, but she took me in and we built a bond. She said, Sarah, I would love for you to stay. So we all became a family anyway. That was the day I said fuck it and threw away my carrying bucket. As the years passed, I moved all around from each and every town. As an adult, I wanted to do a nonprofit to help the homeless crisis and stop it. I presented my project to the world, and they all laughed and called me absurd. Fast forward 10 more years passed. Then again, I lost my son, and home at last. The day I lost my home was by choice, so they couldn't put my son in a foster home. I had my son living with my family out of state. Then DCYF called them and said it was too late. State laws said he couldn't be away from me for more than 3 days. The ironic part is, they never called to tell me. My family called me late that night, saying DCYF was making the trip in their sight, so I packed up everything of his and walked out faster than a falling biz. I left everything behind to save him. I called them that night to say, now you can't take him. There's a Bible story I read when Jesus said, leave everything behind, so I fled. I moved to the same state as my son, living out of my car like a bum, not knowing what to do, trying not to fall apart like canned ragu. Eventually I got into a shelter. It was better than my car since it was cold weather. They gave us all jail beds and told us the time we had to be in bed. The food they provided was sometimes expired. It's not their fault due to their providers. Something is better than nothing, I've learned. How I yearned for the days I called home. One day a friend called me, laughed and said how ironic it was to be me, trapped in a shelter myself, when my nonprofit never made it off the shelf. He laughed and hung up the phone. I cried and watched the movie E.T. Go Home. I quit my career and started to do Lyft, trying to make something to get back on my feet swift. I thought I was only going to be there for a month, but 6 months later, I finally got my son. I moved him into the shelter with me, praying for God to find a way to save me. I have to say, he actually did. I got help to find my career job in a crib. My family was so kind to me. They furnished my new house with everything I could dream. You learn it's just material things. It doesn't mean you still don't want to swing. I just left it all to rest, thankful to be back when my son was the best. So as I sit here and write, please don't judge anyone with your own horrible eyesight.